We saw Kubo and the Two Strings. We're going to talk about it. It's time for...
It was really good, Brian. It was really, really good.
It was really
It was
good.
amazing.
It was really good. You liked something.
Oh, yes.
It's so exciting when you like a thing. And
I
it
love
so
it.
rarely happens.
I love it. No,
We saw it. I saw it last weekend, last Tuesday, a couple days ago, and I was expecting it to be good, and boy, it was.
I was blown away. Like, not only that the stop motion,
Yeah.
like there's some points where it's a little jittery and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like Corpse Bride
No.
smooth, but the storytelling was unfucking believable.
It was really good. It was really good. I thought, I mean, as much as I like the storytelling, I thought the best thing the movie has going for it is visually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gorgeous. It's one of the prettiest movies I've seen in quite some time. And, yeah, so, I mean, good or bad, straight up already, right off the top, we both loved it. You should go see it.
It's
still,
amazing.
hopefully it's still in theaters. It's not doing great, which sucks.
It's
one of those movies where
it has no backing is the problem.
Yeah,
like marketing wise.
I saw lots of commercials for it, but it's one of those movies where if you don't know what it is, and most people, if you don't know who Leica Studios is and what they're doing, and you just see this movie, you're like, oh, that looks kind of interesting, but it's not something you're going to rush out to see. It's a bit of an interesting sell because it's this Japanese mythology and it's Japanese.
Yeah,
Japanese like lore mythology stuff. So it's a little bit of a it's kind of got a higher level entry point than like The Secret Life of Pets or something like that.
I'm gonna say it. This movie literally reaffirmed to me that movies are worth making and they are worth watching.
This is a banner day that Kyle loved something and enjoyed himself.
Because even when we watched like Suicide Squad, that was just like, we know why we're here, we know what's going on. This is just 2 hours. This is like, what was it, like 106 minutes or something like that?
Oh, it's an hour and a half, like our nose, basically. But it's like 90 minutes.
It is what is the most solid of solid films. Like, this is not pad. This is not, just burning an hour and a half.
No. They had a story to tell.
This is filmmaking at, I'm not going to say at its highest degree, but this is like storytelling at its highest degree. Like, nothing is wasted. Everything is worthy of your time.
That is true. If I was going to talk about some negatives, because all we're doing right now is just gushing about it, which is good. Again, you should go see it. It's
We'll stop stroking it for a second.
And it is really worth seeing in theaters, because it's one of those things, seeing on a big screen with the sound, because the sound effects and the music is amazing, and being able to see these huge stop motion creatures on screen is worth it. And it would still be a great movie to watch and you're on your couch in your living room, but seeing it on the big screen is worth it.
I will say, without a doubt, this is a film that people will still be watching 10 years from now.
Yeah, it's got rewatchability because it's just so fucking pretty. Like, but so a few negatives it's nitpicky stuff, but that I had with the film. I think you said that the stop motion's really good, and I almost think it's almost too good at times where I had trouble, like, is this CG?
I know,
is this stop motion?
So fluid at points.
And some of the things they're doing are so crazy that you're like, wait, this has to be CG, right? And I couldn't, and they do use some CG. Like, I've watched some behind the scenes stuff, and there's stuff they supplement with computer generated graphics.
We've seen,
but 95% of what they do is in camera.
Leica is known for their really good stop motion, but this just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's nuts. And the only other Leica film I've actually watched in its entirety is The Box Trolls, because it's on Netflix right now, which that one's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. It's not as good as this one. And then there are other films that people have probably seen, are Coraline and Paranorman, which are both supposedly really, really good.
And I think the Travis Knight, the director of this, was like lead animator on Paranorman.
Yeah, it could be. I have no idea.
Like, I gotta say, the guy knows how to pace a film.
Yeah, the pacing, it's never boring, or it never drags or anything like that. Another negative I think I'd have, and this is getting a little bit of spoiler territory ish, is the relationship between the bug. And maybe this wasn't the point for there to be a twist, that spoiler, that you find out that those are his parents.
Yeah.
but it seemed so obvious to me.
Yeah, no,
and they were making it so painfully obvious. And I was like,
yeah.
I get it, movie.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's for kids maybe to make it a little more like so they can catch on. But I don't know. There's a couple little bits of that was like a little
for things of foreshadowing, they went a little hard on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it took away from it.
No, I don't think it took away. But there's a couple times in where a couple scenes where I was like, I get it, movie. I get that they're husband and wife, you know. But yeah, overall, those just some little nitpicky things. Apart from that, I can probably count the number of times I've cried watching a movie on two hands. I don't know. There's a handful of movies that I've cried. I didn't cry, but I welled up at one of the end scenes.
Same here.
If you have lost anybody close to you in your life at any point, like, the end of this movie will get you.
Yes.
It will get you.
It is all of the feels.
Yes, it will get you. And I welled up a little, and I was like,
like
fight
this,
back the tears.
The scene that made me like full like I couldn't hold it anymore. Like how amazing this was.
Yeah.
And I was giddy in the theater about it. Was the scene with the lanterns? The first scene with the lanterns where Kubo kind of rejects.
Oh yeah.
Father. That scene was fucking gorgeous.
Yes. Isn't that the one too where they all go out down the river?
Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing in the entire movie, every time, and talking about things making you giddy, every time the evil sisters were on, they were the fucking coolest looking characters. They were so fucking cool.
They were like hats. Scarecrows with like the Japanese
like geisha mask kind of things, and they had those the scythe on a chain, and fucking so cool. And every time they were on screen, the person who voiced those, Rooney Mara, voiced those characters.
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
What did you think of Matthew McConaughey?
I was like, that's Matthew McConaughey, isn't it?
Yeah.
I heard somebody on a review say that they didn't notice that they didn't feel like I noticed. I think he did a good job, but I noticed that was Matthew McConaughey.
You know, whoever his accent coach is pretty good at dropping off the southern part.
Yeah, he did dial back and hide enough that it wasn't super obvious, but there were times where I'm like, oh, that's Matthew McConaughey.
I love how somebody complained like, how dare they do this Asian cultured people voiced by white actors, which I'm just like, yeah, but there's George Takei in it. And he sounds way more American than Matthew McConaughey does.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't
that
hear
was
any
a
of that
controversy.
I didn't hear anything about that, but it's a great film. It's gorgeous. It's worth your money. It should be supported because this studio needs to keep being able to make movies.
If this is stop motion's Pixar basically.
Yeah, they're the only ones doing it. They're the only ones in the game.
I'm not going to exaggerate this at all. I think this might be this generation's Toy Story to a degree.
Wow. I mean, that's bold. I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but it is really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. And sort of just mind-blowing good and mind-blowingly disappointing that nobody's going to see it because it's so good.
There's the difference in either you make a shitload of money and you just produce crap like Michael Bay, or you do a film that is so well done, it doesn't matter how much movie you don't make.
How much money you don't make?
Yeah. That you're going to keep making it. I think that's what
that does. Is the thing. I think they'll make enough money overseas because it's kind of a universal.
Yeah.
You don't have to be able to speak English. You could watch this movie without dialogue and you could get everything you needed to get from it.
So many Bollywood films that I've seen. Like, a lot of Bollywood films, you don't need the English translation for the most part. And that's what I got with this, is that it took that same approach.
Just say, you could watch this with none of the dialogue, just the action that takes place, and you would get everything you needed to get out of it because it's visual storytelling. What a novel concept for a film. Your arms. Novel concept for a film, visual storytelling. So yeah, that's, we don't do number scales, but I'm going to do it. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's good.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. That is, guys, I cannot stress this enough. If Kyle gives something a 10 out of 10, you should see that thing. Because he gives nothing 10 out of 10.
Nothing. What's something you'd give a 10 out of 10 to? And I'll tell you exactly what we're talking about.
Ooh, 10 out of 10 movie. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future? No, I give it maybe a 7.
A 7?
Maybe a 7.
That's maybe an issue
just
for another day.
There's certain pacing problems I have with it.
I will fight you.
But like we said, if I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, it's fucking good.
Yes, go see Kubo and the Two Strings. Go see it. Thank you for listening to us talk about Kubo and the Two Strings. In theaters now.
Go watch it.